you as possible. Ian Ladyman, do you want to take the mic?
Hi, Thomas. Ian Ladyman from the Daily Mail. Kind of two short questions in one, really. And Mark, you may have an input. Why are you not starting for the November internationals? Got two very big games coming up. And secondly, did the FA make a prerequisite that you live in England, and will you live in England?
I love to live in England. I'm looking forward to living again in England. I want to be close to Premier League. I want to be close to the majority of the players. But of course, the schedule will also allow me to be close to my family and my children in Germany. So, but yeah, I will be in England, and most of the time, of course, close here.
The question about why we're not starting for November.
Do you want me to? You go first.
You can.
No.
You can go first.
Look, I think we always said to Lee that he would have 3 camps, and we were very clear he'd run the Nations League campaign. And I think when we first spoke to Thomas wanted to have the singular focus on the World Cup, so it just made sense from both sides, starting the 1st of January.
Hello, Thomas. You clearly enjoyed your time at Chelsea and had a great affection for English football. I wonder whether you'd mind spelling out just what it is you like about England, English football, and I don't know, the sort of the country and London and the way we do things.
Yes, it's the country, and it's the humor, and it's the way of life, and it's the attitude from the supporter towards the game and what they demand from the players. And I said it many times. I think it shapes the character of the players, how they live their profession, how their approach towards training, towards a team effort. And I think it's one of a kind. For me, it was a one of a kind experience, and to breathe that again is a big privilege, and I'm very proud, but also of course honored and very happy to be back and in such a prominent role, even better. Sorry, way of life. Yes, I loved it. Of course, I was every 3 days in a stadium, and mostly every day on the training ground. But yeah, I like the way of life. Like I said, I like the humor, and I always felt very, very welcome here, and that's why I'm very happy to be back.
Hiya, Thomas. It's Matt Law from The Telegraph. Because of your track record and because of what Mark and yourself have said about coming in and being very honest about trying to win the World Cup, I mean, is it win or bust? Is it win or this has been a failure?
I don't know. It depends. It would be, I know what you're saying. Yeah, but it's a bit of a... No, it's not a gamble, but we speak it out now very clearly why we are here and what we want to achieve. And we are not shy of it. We are absolutely open about it, that it does not help the more often we speak about it, but it should be out there. And then we can set the standards, and we can set the values, set the principles up for it, because then we have to live up for it from January latest for 18 months. And then let's judge on it when we have done it. And if we decide it was a failure, then we will not continue. If we decide it was not a failure, then we will continue. Let's see, but no one can predict the future. It feels absolutely right for me to do so. It feels clear. It feels easy to explain. It's and there's it's easy to explain, and when it's easy to explain, it's normally good.
Thanks, Matt. We go across to Charlie there.
Thomas, Charlie White from The Sun. What's the most important thing for you, so results or style of play? Because Gareth Southgate was criticised quite heavily for his tactics, even though England got to the final. Last week, we had Lee Carsley play a real attacking lineup, and England lost to Greece. Where do you balance these things?
They have to be balanced, and our style of play has to bring us results. I mean, we play with players from the best league. We have the biggest competition in the world. We have a group of young, hungry players. We are desperate to win a title, so we have all the ingredients, and I think we should try to implement and this into our style of play. I think we should play an attacking style of football. We should try to emphasize a physical side of the game, because this is what English football is all about, and this is what excites our supporters, and this is what suits the players. I understand also clearly that we have not a lot of time on the training pitch, but normally I love the 2-3 days before a match to prepare, to do a video session, do a training, do another training, and then let's go. So we will heavily rely on that, because we don't have a lot of training time, and that's why it's maybe important to have clear messages, to not overcomplicate, and to find a clear structure where we can demand then things from the players, and where they can also show their full potential. And this is then my job, to find this structure and these demands, and then demand it from the players. But I think we can not only focus on the results and just hope that they happen, and we cannot hide also behind a certain play of style of play which does not give us results. It has to go hand in hand.
Mark, it's Dave Kidd from The Sun. Is this appointment a damning indictment on English managers, English coaching, and what about the pathway in terms of coaching and I don't know if the England DNA is still a thing?
Yeah, no, thanks. I think, look, if we look at St George's Park overall, I think it's been a really big success, and I think our pathway is really strong, both from players and coaches' point of view. I think we've got some fantastic young coaches around, and obviously Anthony is one of those. I think any federation in the world who's looking for a hire of a senior manager, clearly you'd love to have, 5 to 10 domestic candidates who are coaching clubs in your domestic league, challenging and winning honours in domestic league and European football. We're not quite in that place at the moment. And I think as we set out the process, what was our priority? Our priority was to find someone that could give our players the best possible chance to win. So we found that, and we've got Thomas, and we're delighted with that. I think in the background, obviously, we've got to keep helping our young coaches to get the best opportunities they can, to get best opportunities in clubs. And obviously, we'd love to have more English coaches coaching the Premier League, for example. So I think there's a balance there.
Mark, despite what you just said, surely there's 0 sense in delaying Thomas starting until January. You've got 2 matches next month. Surely there's 0 sense in leaving Lee Carsley in the job. Thomas has just said that you get very little time to prepare with your players. Is there a reason that you're not disclosing as to why Thomas is not starting until January, when you've only got 18 months until the World Cup? And you've got a guy here who's not employed at the moment, and you're not allowing him to start the job?
It's not a question of not allowing. When we first spoke to him, we had our timescale, Thomas had his timescale, and it just fitted really well. What was so impressive was his singular focus on us and the World Cup. He spoke about trying to put a second star on the shirt, and that project made sense for it to start on the 1st of January, and made sense for Lee to finish the campaign for Nations League. So we're very comfortable where we are, and that's what we'll be doing.
Hello, Thomas. Sam Wallace from The Telegraph. You've been quite critical of international football in the past. I'll just read a quote to you. Too many competitions, too many matches, too many friendly matches. That was when you were PSG manager. Have you changed your mind? Is there still too much international football, or is it just about right now?
Good one. No, it's not. It's not enough. No, it's not enough. We need more matches for the national teams. No, it correlates even with the question before. That's why it was for me important to narrow it down into a project, and to not lose the focus, to start in another competition named Nations League, and then start into qualification, and then go to the tournament. I wanted to have a clean start. I wanted also to have a bit of time to recharge fully, and start in January, and then start first camp in March. And we will have not a lot of time. If you look at the schedule, and you hear the voices of the players, and I think they have a reason. The schedule to end the season with a Champions League final, and then go to an international break, and then start the Club World Cup is a very, very, very demanding schedule for the players. And we will, try now. On the other, it's a new perspective now for me. I'm glad to have it. It will help me to become better coach, and we will take this into account when we do our nomination, like to not overload the players, but at the same time to respect also our target, which is to build the strongest group possible to go to America.
Hi Thomas. Jacob Steinberg from The Guardian. This is the third time now that you've worked with Anthony Barry. I mean, what is it about your relationship with him? Why does he work so well with you? Is it also important for you to have an English person there with you in the group? And also, do you have an idea of the rest of your backroom staff at the moment?
There will be a few more people in the backroom staff, but we will keep the group very small because I want also to acknowledge the potential and the quality in the staff of the FA. So we want to work together and we want to be open, but it is important to have a streamlined process, to have people at your side who watch the game and the behavior and the patterns through your lens. So Anthony is like the key figure in that as my assistant coach. We work now, like you said, the third time together, and I'm very happy to have him at my side. He is on top of it English. He's full of energy, full of quality, and a fantastic coach. On top of it, he has a huge amount of experience in international football, being assistant coach for Portugal, Ireland, and Belgium. I think that helped me already a lot to understand the schedule better, to understand the nomination process better, to get a feeling for what we are talking about here when the talk started. And that's why I'm happy to have people like Anthony at my side, and I think this is necessary to influence then all aspects also in St. George's Park in our way, and to get it streamlined.
Hi Thomas, Miguel Delaney from The Independent. As an outsider who's now an insider, why do you think England have failed to win for so long, and was this part of your assessment figuring it out?
I think it's just nuances. I think it's just details. If you lose in penalties in a final, who would I be to say I know what you did wrong? Then you're there. You're just there, and they have been in two finals. I think semi-final and quarterfinals, lost each of them very, very closely. Could have gone either way. So. The genuine belief is that we are there, that we are ready, and it's on us to prove it.
Okay. Apologies to disappoint all those points you're making, but we're going to conclude the media conference there. You'll get lots of opportunity to speak to Thomas in the future, I'm sure. But thanks for your time this afternoon.